Championships, ladders, briefcases, oh my, we're talking about Money in the Bank, this weekend's PLE from the WWE. We've got your predictions, previews, and speculations right here on Rumble Rewind.
Let's talk about it.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Rumble Rewind today. My name is Brandon, and we are talking all things WWE Money in the Bank. We've got previews, predictions, and speculations all coming at you right here in this video. Before we get started, do me a quick favor, scroll down below, hit that like button for me, and if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. While you're there, turn on your post notifications as well so you never miss an upload from Rumble Rewind, and you'll be one of the first to know when we do our giveaway, our best giveaway in the world. Once we hit 200 subscribers, we're giving away some CM Punk merch, and you've got to be subscribed to be eligible, so make sure you get in on that. All right, let's get started. I gotta tell you today, though, that I did get some help with these predictions from WWE 2K24. I simulated each of these matches to see what the game would guess the outcome to be. And so if you play WWE 2K24 and you want some tips, some tricks, and just to talk about the things that are going on in the game, click this link right here, jump over to my WWE 2K24 playlist and check out some of those videos. Anyway, let's dive right in. All right, the first match we're going to talk about is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We've got Chad Gable, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes all going at it for the men's Money in the Bank contract. Playing this in 2K24, the game picked Carmelo Hayes, and I was pretty shocked by that because the game sometimes does lean pretty heavily on those overall ratings. But Carmelo Hayes is your men's Money in the Bank winner, according to WWE 2K24. And to be honest, if I was picking one of these 6 guys that I would want to see win, it would be Carmelo Hayes. The Money in the Bank match is all about creating superstars and launching people into the next level of their career. And the guy that would benefit the most from that is someone like Carmelo Hayes. He came in as a high draft pick on SmackDown and has kind of floundered ever since. He's been mixed up a little bit with LA Knight, a little bit with Bobby Lashley before his injury, and kind of just has been a filler on the card for a little while. Now, to qualify for this match, he did get a win and pinned Randy Orton with some help, but still, that is a pretty big deal for someone like Melo, and I would love to see him win this match. However, that is not how I think it's going to go. I actually think that Jey Uso is going to walk away as Mr. Money in the Bank. I don't necessarily think this is the best decision to put the Money in the Bank contract in the hands of someone like Jey Uso, because I do think it fits better with a heel personality. Whenever a face does that, it ends up usually with them turning heel, and I don't think that that's where Jey Uso needs to go in his current WWE run. Also, I think he does need to at some point get involved in the Bloodline story and help out Roman Reigns, help out Jimmy, figure out how to combat those guys, and him having the Money in the Bank briefcase feels like it's gonna just sort of confuse that a little bit. Now, if you look at the other guys in the match, you've got, of course, Andrade, who could use a refresh, and the Money in the Bank contract would be great with him. I just don't see WWE ready to push him to that level yet, especially on SmackDown, with Cody Rhodes currently holding the championship. Same for Melo. That's why I don't think he's actually going to win with a champion like Cody Rhodes. I do think having the Money in the Bank contract in the hands of someone like Carmelo Hayes kind of runs the risk of turning it into Austin Theory 2.0, and nobody wants to see that. Now, LA Knight would be a great win, but again, he's on SmackDown. That's the same situation with Cody Rhodes. He's also mixed up in the Logan Paul story. There was a comment made by LA Knight that maybe he would win it and cash it in on Logan Paul. Please don't let that happen. 100% out on that. Do not want to see that. 0 out of 10. Please, WWE, don't do that. Then you look at a guy like Drew McIntyre. He's mixed up in the CM Punk story. That story does not need the championship to be a big deal, and I think that they should keep the championship away from that for a little while. Now, this is the spot, though, that I think we have the most potential for a really cool surprise situation that cost Drew this match. I know there's a lot of speculation that it's going to be CM Punk who shows up, but I think it would be absolutely awesome if AJ Lee shows up and cost Drew that match somehow and steals the bracelet back. I think that would be awesome. Maybe she just is a distraction. Maybe she gets in the ring and pushes the ladder over. Either way, I think it would be so fun and so cool to see AJ Lee make an appearance, a return, and cost Drew the Money in the Bank ladder match. especially after he's been talking about how CM Punk's family is with him, behind him, supporting him because of the bracelet. It would be cool to see AJ costing that title, especially if she brings Larry with her. That would be awesome. Now, Chad Gable as well is another guy that I think could potentially win it, but I do think with his involvement with the Wyatt Six currently, I don't see that happening. I think that it would be cool to see some part of that story advance. Either something happens with the Alpha Academy, something happens with the Creed, something happens with the Wyatt Six. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Chad Gable is the guy that walks out of Money in the Bank with the contract. Ultimately, I want it to be Melo, but I think it's going to be Jey Uso. But tell me your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think is going to win Money in the Bank? Who's walking out of there with the contract and the briefcase? All right, let's move on to the women's Money in the Bank match. We've got Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, and Zoe Stark. Now, I think that this match is secretly going to be a banger. All of these women are actually really good in the ring, really good technically. Io Sky, obviously one of the best in the business, especially in a ladder match situation. The Money in the Bank ladder match last year, she won it and she looked great doing it. Chelsea Green, great for a ladder match. Her character, just the way that she would probably sneak around, hide, try to sneak up and get the briefcase. I think it fits her really well. Obviously, we've got Tiffany Stratton in there who has Nia Jax in her corner, so that could be a thing that helps her. You've got Naomi, who a lot of people are behind. She needs a push or something, a refresh, something to help her move up the ranks if that's the goal for her, because right now she's floundering. You've got Lyra Valkyria, who is kind of heir apparent. She's been getting the superstar treatment ever since she showed up in NXT. If you've seen her NXT run, you know that she came in very, very highly anticipated and pushed, and the same on her debut on Raw. She was immediately in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She made it all the way to the finals. They are investing a lot in Lyra Valkyria, and rightfully so. She's great in the ring. She's getting better and better with her character development, connecting with people, but she's kind of in a feud, sort of, with Damage Control and Kaden Carter, Katana Chance helping her out. Obviously, Io Sky being in that brings the Damage Control piece to it, so we could see something there. And then you got Zoe Stark, who is great in the ring, but just character-wise hasn't connected with the fans. And I'll say, if Zoe Stark wins it, I think the internet is going to go insane, especially since Zoe Stark beat Dakota Kai to get there. It was a big deal on X, so just go search the hashtag #PushKingCoda, see what you find. But if Zoe Stark wins this thing, it's going to be pandemonium on X. Check it out. But as I say that, WWE 2K24 picked Zoe Stark. And so there's that. Who knows what's going to happen, but Zoe Stark won the ladder match in the 2K version. Now for me, what do I want to see happen? I want to see Tiffany Stratton win this thing. I think it's Tiffy time. I think the story with her and Nia Jax makes it even more beneficial for her to win it. I think that if she does win that and Nia wins at SummerSlam, which I think is going to happen, then there's a very interesting story that could take place between the two of them because of their alliance. Again, won't call it a friendship, but they have this alliance currently that we saw play out on SmackDown recently that got her here in the first place. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out this video here, my SmackDown recap. I'll tell you all about it. But because of Nia Jax, I think that Nia would potentially help Tiffany win it, thinking that Tiffany having the briefcase protects Nia should she get the championship at SummerSlam. But again, that's going to be the story if it happens, and eventually Tiffany will turn on her, cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, become the champion, and then those two could feud for a little bit, which would benefit both of them. They've both been winning some matches, but neither of them have been in a legitimate feud, and so I'd love to see Tiffany win it and slow play this thing into a feud with Nia Jax. And ultimately, I do believe that Tiffany Stratton is going to win. So there's my official pick. It's Tiffy time, everybody. Miss Tiffy in the bank, if you will. Hot pink briefcase on the way. Tell me what you think, though. Do you agree? Do you think Tiffany's going to win it? And who do you want to see walk out with that briefcase? All right, let's move on to the next match of the night. We've got Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker in what is sure to be a physical matchup. The two of them have been going back and forth for the last couple of weeks. Braun's been getting closer and closer to an Intercontinental title shot for a couple of weeks, but people keep messing it up, getting involved in his matches and things like that. So finally, Sami said anytime, any place, anywhere. And here we are. So WWE 2K24 picked Sami Zayn as the winner in a relatively short match, by the way. Sami Zayn did retain in the 2K24 version. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know what I want to happen here. I want Braun Breaker to win. More than that, I want Sami Zayn to lose the Intercontinental Championship. With Braun specifically, I am a little bit concerned that his Intercontinental title run could end up looking like Goldberg's US Championship run, where it was just kind of boring because you knew that he was going to win every match. He's going to squash people. So I do think that we've seen Braun in some more competitive matchups, which is great. Would love to see him get this championship and prove me wrong, but I do have some concerns about him being the champion. If that's what happens, it could get a little boring a little quickly, but I could also be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. Braun is great in the ring. I think he has the potential to have some great character and be a compelling on-screen personality, but he hasn't been booked or written that way, and so we'll have to see what happens. But I do think that is what's going to happen. I do think it's time for Sami to drop that belt. I could see Sami kind of going back into chase mode to try to get it back, and that could be a fun story. I've always said that Sami is a better chaser than he is a champion. I like Sami Zayn in chase mode, but I don't like him as a champion. I think it was awesome when he won at WrestleMania, but I'm just bored of it. So tell me your thoughts. Do you think Braun's going to walk out of there with the Intercontinental Championship? And how bored are you with Sami Zayn's championship run? Moving on, we have another title on the line when Seth Rollins challenges Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of speculation about Seth winning this because of some of the tensions in the Judgment Day. Some of the ways that Finn Balor and Damian Priest have been kind of back and forth. And so people think that maybe Finn is going to cost Damian the championship. He's going to turn on Damian, or he's going to accidentally cost him the championship and create more tension to where they do eventually break up. I do think that we are in the downfall of the Judgment Day era. But that said, I don't think it's time just yet. Now, WWE 2K24 picked Seth Rollins to be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Not surprised by that because it's Seth Rollins, and WWE 2K24 loves Seth Rollins. He always wins. So, but I've got to disagree with 2K24. I do think that Priest is going to retain. Like I said, I do think that we are in the final phase of the Judgment Day story, but I don't think it's time to pull the ripcord just yet. I could see Finn Balor getting involved in this match to help Priest, and Priest wins it because of that assistance and gets frustrated with Finn, and that could lead to more tension and more frustration and continue to move that story forward, but I don't think that this is the moment. I know that people will think that it would be awesome to see Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam, but I think we need to push that one a little farther down the road. Maybe we see it at Survivor Series. Maybe we even don't see it until WrestleMania. I think that is going to be a great match. It is going to be highly personal and very, very good. I just don't think it's time for that quite yet, and here's why. Because we know that Gunther is challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. I believe that Gunther is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. And I believe he's going to win it from Damian Priest. I don't think they're going to give Seth Rollins a month-long World Heavyweight Championship run. I think Seth loses here, and it causes him to do some deep dive into his own identity, if you will, and that could lead to an either more serious version of Seth Rollins than we've seen recently, or even a heel turn, and he could go from there. But I think even more than that, SummerSlam and Gunther provide the perfect opportunity for Finn to cost Damian Priest the championship. There's speculation that Rhea Ripley's coming back at that point. I think that could be a good time for a lot of these larger and bigger moments in the Judgment Day storyline to take place. I do think that that's the time. That's the moment when Priest can lose the championship and it can all fall apart. That's good storytelling. I think that works really well. And so for those reasons, I think that Damian Priest retains the championship here. Now, what do I want to happen? I want Priest to retain. I want this Judgment Day storyline to continue to kind of slow burn and continue to play itself out over time. I think if they pull the ripcord this weekend, that Rhea's not back yet, it feels a little rushed because there was really just legitimate tension between Damian and Finn this past Monday on Raw. And so I would rather wait on that a little bit longer, let that story marinate a little bit longer, have Priest lose the title at SummerSlam to Gunther, and let the Judgment Day fallout take place from there. That makes more sense to me. And also, I think that is what is going to happen. But that allows this story, like I said, to play out a little bit longer and have some big moments on a larger stage. And so there you have it. But again, tell me in the comments your thoughts. Do you see Priest walking out as World Heavyweight Champion, or do you think Seth is going to take it? All right, moving on to what I assume will be the main event. We've got the Bloodline taking on the team of Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. And honestly, this one is a little bit confusing because at this point, we still don't even know which 3 members of the Bloodline are going to be competing. I checked the WWE.com a little while ago, and it still just says the Bloodline versus these 3. And so I'm not sure who's going to actually wrestle this match. My best guess is it's going to be Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, because we just haven't seen Tonga Loa in the ring that often. And so I think that they'll probably figure out some storyline reason why he's not there. They did the same thing when they traveled recently and said that they couldn't get the new members of the Bloodline across the border. So I have to figure out that story a little bit, but my guess is that that's going to be the reason one of the 4 of them can't show up. It also might be Jacob Fatu that doesn't wrestle this match if they're trying to save him for later, or they have some interference angle with that. But who knows? I personally still kind of think it's going to be Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga. But again, we just don't know. Now, playing this out on 2K24, it did go with the team of Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. No big surprise there, as it was Cody Rhodes involved, and Cody always wins, especially in the video game. But what do I want to see happen? I want to see the Bloodline win this, and I want to see them win it in some sort of dominating fashion. This is why I think Jacob Fatu is going to be involved in the match, whether he's in it or interferes in it. I do want to see the Bloodline get the win. I would prefer that they get the clean win somehow. I don't know how they would write that other than Kevin Owens taking that pinfall to protect Randy and Cody. But at the same time, I do think that the Bloodline needs this more than the other 3. I think if the Bloodline wins, especially if Cody takes the pinfall, especially if he takes it to Solo Sikoa, then that sets up more storyline down the road with potentially Solo getting a title shot at SummerSlam. And I know that the internet will not love this, but that is the next logical step in this story. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination Solo is going to win that title. I think that's the moment when something big happens in the Bloodline versus Bloodline story. Maybe Roman Reigns comes back. Maybe Paul Heyman comes back with a squad of guys to help him take on this new Bloodline. But either way, I do think that the Bloodline needs to win this match if this story is going to continue. It got really hot this week on SmackDown when they turned on Paul Heyman. If you didn't see that, then go check it out. Click this video here, and I'll tell you all about it. But the Bloodline story actually got hot. These guys got believable, and they need this win to continue that momentum. So that is what I want to happen, and ultimately, it is what I think is going to happen. I know that that's a little bit crazy. I think that it's going to happen. I think the Bloodline story is picking up. They really want to make this thing feel like a big deal, and if they want to make the Bloodline story feel like a big deal, then the Bloodline has to get this win this weekend at Money in the Bank. So that's my pick. Tell me yours in the comments below. Do you think the Bloodline gets this win, or do you think it goes to KO, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton? All in all, I am really looking forward to Money in the Bank. It's always one of my favorite PLEs. I love the concept. But again, tell me your thoughts in the comments. Are you looking forward to this? And which match do you think is going to be the highlight of the night? Well, that's it for today. But before I go, I'd love for you to do me a quick favor. Go down below this video, hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you are there. Once we get that 200 subscribers, we're doing a giveaway, and I want you to be eligible for that. The only way to enter is to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and turn on those post notifications as well so you never miss an upload and you're able to stay up to date with all of the latest information. And if you've got those notifications on, you'll be one of the first to know on Monday when our reactions video drops. I'll sit there and watch back some of these takes and see where I was right, where I was wrong, and where do we go from here. It's always a good time. Would love for you to check that out. And hey, if you're looking forward to NXT Heatwave this weekend, make sure you go ahead and check out this video as well. Same concept, previews, predictions, speculations, and a little bit of help from WWE 2K24. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today on Rumble Rewind. We'll see you on the next one.